If you're a young Gen Z person like me, I promise I can read your mind in the next 1 minute and tell you exactly what your biggest problem is. It's that you don't feel understood. You have all these big dreams, but when you go to your parents, your teachers, your colleagues, they don't see the vision. What they see instead is a silly little dreamer who needs a dose of reality. And that creates conflict. You feel like they don't understand you. They feel like you're too foolish and immature. And in this battle, all of us feel confused and lost. Here's what exactly happens. You have a dream. You've seen someone, you've seen something, you've had an idea, and that gives you a vision. You know what? I can do this. I can make this happen. But then you look at your reality. You see all these limitations around you. You're thinking, oh, my parents wouldn't be supportive. Oh, this career doesn't seem very safe, I'm not sure if this is something I'm meant for. And all these doubts will start creeping up on you. You'll feel as if you're not meant for that dream. That you saw it, but it's fine. Like, it's a cool vision, but of course your reality doesn't permit it because that's what you've seen around you. That's the kind of messaging you've heard ever since you were a kid. But guess what? That messaging is not true. And this does not mean that the people who are out there looking out for you, who are telling you to dream less, to look more on reality, they're not doing that out of malice intentions. They're very clear. They just want to save you from harm. But what they actually end up doing is they keep you too safe. They feel that just because they couldn't have achieved their goals, that's just the way the world is. And so it's impossible for you to do the same as well. That even though you are in this youthful spirit and you're seeing that big vision, it's actually just a dream that doesn't make sense. Because the world has left them scarred, they are thinking it will leave you scarred too. And out of love, out of compassion, out of care for you, they're trying to say, you know what? Don't do this. Don't bother. You'll just end up getting hurt. But what they don't know is that their experience is not the only one. That there are people of their age, older than them, younger than them, who have achieved more success, who have done extraordinary things, who have looked at their dreams and said, you know what, I will make this happen. I will do this come what may. And they've done it. It's not just some motivational blabber that's going on inside their heads. It's their reality. They know that what they see, what they dream, they can achieve. That even though it takes a lot of work, even though they have to put day and night into their dream, they can make it happen and they can achieve the extraordinary success that they're aiming for. And what's the difference between them and you? What's the difference between those high achievers and all these people around you telling you that it isn't possible? It's not of skills, it's not of talent, it's not even of knowledge. It's just a difference of belief, and the good news is you can build that belief. You can train your mind and train yourself to think and believe in possibilities, not limitations. To look at growth, not the barriers. And to figure out a way forward that's not just practical, but also transformative. And that is your journey. That is the place from where you can succeed, from where any dream that you're seeing, right? It can come true. And the reason I'm telling you is not because I've read this in a book or I've tried to, put together some pieces of different information to present it out to you. I've lived this. I've understood this. I've tried to act on it. And that was the reason I was able to write my own book at the age of 14. Who's done that? Very few people in the world, right? I could have thought, you know what? I'm thinking of writing a book, but it's confusing. It's hard. What if my English teacher doesn't like it? What if I'm not too good at it? What if I mess this up? What if this? What if that? I could have had all those limiting beliefs, but I did not. I saw that the book I'm thinking of writing, Explore the New You, can become a guide for many other young adults like me who are struggling, who are confused, who want to succeed. And that's what motivated me. That's what kept me going. That's the vision I saw. And I decided, you know what? Maybe I'll never publish this book. Maybe I'll fail. Maybe this won't work out. But what will I regret more? Not trying or having tried and failed? And the answer was clear to me. I would have always regretted if I had not tried writing the book. Yes, I could have done it and I could have ended up with a manuscript that was pretty much crap that no one would have liked to read. At least I would know that writing a book isn't for me, and I would have been glad to figure that out early. But guess what happened? I actually understood that writing a book is for me. I wrote that book in 50 days. I published it at 14. It became a #1 bestseller on Amazon USA and Canada, and it also made me a world record holder, the world's youngest non-fiction self-published author. And this is a story I always feel a lot of love and gratitude while telling, because it isn't just a tale of something I did, something of glory for me. It's way beyond that. It's a message and a guideline and a inspiration for me as well, that anytime I think, you know what, I can do this, I have my own story to remind myself that yes, I can. And that is a way more powerful motivator than anything else that you try to search for on the internet. So for any reason, even if it is not something you want to make a career out of, chase that dream. Try to figure out a way to make it happen, because there are only two likely outcomes, right? One is you succeed and you have an incredible story of transformation that becomes your own inspiring guide, or you fail and you figure out pretty early that this wasn't meant for you. Either way, given your age and given the stage where you're at, you don't have to worry so much about getting it right the very first time. Yes, it is important, and there are many guiding principles that will lead you to the light. But what I want to focus on in this video is to try to get you into the action mode. Because here's what happens. You see the dream, you see the vision, and you start to believe that this can happen. But then you hit a wall. Reality. People are telling you, don't do this, don't try this, don't be that. And of course, you don't have to be foolish or risk your life in something, right? I'm hoping that that's the common sense all of us have. But understand that when it comes to your dreams, you don't have to limit yourself to what other people say are possible and what you think is possible, and that you can push yourself over the limit. You have the time, you have the energy, you have the potential. So why not figure it out early? That's why taking action in this decade, in this age, is so important. I'm making these videos. Do you think I was always good at it? Of course not. When I started out, right, I felt so scared of the camera. I had to make a cut every single line. I had to re-record, I had to rethink, I had to reimagine, and I was like, I have to get this perfect, I have to get it right. But here's what happened. As I made more videos, right, I understood the simple truth. No one video can be perfect. Just like that, no one project of yours or dream of yours or goal of yours can be perfect. But if you start out and if you take action, you can grow. You can improve, you can change, you can transform, you can learn new skills, and that alone is way more powerful than any of this validation or perfection that you're seeking. And I can understand where this barrier inside your mind is coming from as well. You don't want to be seen as a failure. This is an age where we feel that we want to be accepted by our friend group, that we want to be accepted by our parents, that maybe if there's someone we like or we have a crush on, we want to impress that person. And that is why the idea of failing, especially publicly when you try something new out, well, that scares us. What if that person sees this? What if everybody thinks I'm a failure? But just imagine. Just look around you, look at your friend group, look at your colleagues, look at the people in your college or school. How many of them are you thinking about? Are you looking at all these 500 people around you, those 1500 you follow on Instagram? Are you consciously nitpicking every corner of their life to find faults? No, right? You don't have that much time. You're too self-obsessed. Well, guess what? Everybody else is as well. So this limitation that you have inside your head, let go of it and choose to pursue your dreams, because seriously, even if you fail, what will happen the most? People will talk about it for a day, for a week, for a month, but not more than that. Everybody else is as self-obsessed, if not more than you. And so your failure doesn't really matter to them. Your failure doesn't change the perspective they have, but your failure has the potential to either turn into a massive raging success and change the trajectory of your life, or become a powerful lesson that leads you towards more clarity. And I really hope you understand this point today, because if you don't, the cost you pay is a life you could have lived, a life that could have made you happy, a life that would have just been a different world of alternate reality, but one that you definitely could have lived, and you will live with that regret your whole life. And trust me, that life is long. So the choice is yours. Do you want to end up with regret, or do you want to just try and figure out whether or not this dream is for you? You may not have the most resources, but do you have drive? Do you have willpower? Do you have ambition? And do you have belief? If yes, that's all you need to at least get started, to at least understand a new field, to at least figure out some basic details and put your feet to the pedal and get going. That's all that ultimately matters. So my question to you today is this: what dream are you chasing? I want you to take on this one challenge. Drop in the comments what your dream is, what your vision is. Know that you've got this, and that figuring out is really just the ultimate skill you need to succeed in life. I'm always rooting for you, and I'll see you next week.